Yo,
What's up?
we're live.
We are live. Justin, you have to bring the energy today because I'm a little tired.
Well, we got our zoot juices, so let's take a little cheers and a sip.
All right, let's do it.
Energy, baby. Let's go.
This is not sponsored by said title on can.
No, but we like... Ooh, my volume was turned on.
You got the advertisements going.
Yeah, so if you just joined, you're obviously getting hit with that advertisement. For me, it's some stupid video game, but for you, welcome. We're back. All right. Hey, it's Friday. It's live stream time.
Yeah, Friday is awesome. Last night I was at the Hamilton play.
Ooh, how was it? I've been wanting to see that. I know my wife has been wanting to see that. It's got obviously all
It's
the
worth it.
accolades.
It's definitely worth it. You should definitely go down there. The Fox Theater, it feels like you're at like Disney World when you're inside there. It's like an old mummy tomb or something.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Sounds
like very decorated. It's old fashioned. Like, it's interesting.
Very cool. I'll have to check it out. I have done very little in downtown Atlanta, so I'm very excited to get there. And it's probably going to be a while. If I don't get there in the next like 2.5 weeks, it's probably going to be a long time before I get there.
Yeah.
Just because of the old baby.
Well, maybe you should go soon because I think it's only there for another week or two.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then it's gone.
Okay. Well,
So-
I will do that. I will take your advice, and I will get to the Hamilton because I missed it in New York when I was living there, but it was also like thousands of dollars.
Yeah. The tickets, they're pretty expensive, but I mean, if you get them early enough, it wasn't that bad. I couldn't get them early enough, but they're like $200 to $300 each for like a good seat.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not horrible. And it's like, I'm not a big musical guy. I wouldn't see myself liking a lot of other shows, so this was a really good one to go to, get that experience, and I'm probably not going to go back too many times, you know.
I
So.
did see they had made like a whether it was an off-Broadway movie musical or whatever, because the main guy who wrote it wasn't in it, but I really did enjoy it. It was like a good way to learn some history. I didn't know that much about Alexander Hamilton and kind of all the situation that surrounded him, but
Yeah.
definitely thought that was cool. But same with you, man. Like musicals, that's not my jam.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I like music, not musicals.
True.
Whatever.
Now, if there was a live orchestra, then that would be pretty cool. I'd be into that more, but there wasn't this time.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Get those orchestra pit tickets.
Yes.
All right, it's Friday. We're going to talk about some leverage trading today?
Yes, because we're about to do it.
We
I
are.
gotta move some funds around.
Same.
I'm getting a little nervous. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to battle Justin, and he has like,
I have a vendetta.
yes, that's what I feel like. You have like blood in your eyes.
I'm ready, man. I am so ready to, first off, make some money, because what we're going to do is we're going to take the 10K that we had made during the last challenge.
Yeah.
And we are going to leverage trade only. No more flipping stupid stuff from Craigslist. We are leverage trading this 10K into 100K, winner take all. Right?
How long do you think it? Wait, winner take all? No.
Give me
No,
your
no, no,
monies.
no,
I
no,
want
no.
your monies.
No, we ain't doing that.
Okay.
Because man, I don't like wasting my time, so I have to make something.
See, if you're listening, if you're watching this, he's nervous. 'Cause
I
he
am
knows.
nervous.
He knows. I'm
Hey,
coming for
anything
him.
can happen in leverage trading.
Anything could happen. I've been liquidated and smoked a few times.
And I know you're a risk taker, so like you could crush me early. You could also get liquidated.
I could. So one thing I want to talk about, and this is probably a great discussion. You know, obviously we're going to hop into this leverage trading competition, but really kind of talking about pros and cons, do and don'ts. I think it's really important.
Yeah.
Sharing, tips and strategies, because everybody trades differently. Everybody's got their own style. Like you said, I'm kind of a cowboy. When I enter a position, I put in 100%. I do not hit 25, 50, 75%. I
Okay.
go all in, and I've been liquidated before, so I know that you should always have some backup funds, because if you get close to your liquidation point, you can always add in another position, and then it'll drop your liquidation point down.
There's nothing wrong with going 100% in. It's actually a smart play, and sometimes it just depends on the strategy that you're using.
Mhm.
And then you could take profit maybe in percentages. But there's nothing really wrong with it if you're using low leverage. Obviously, if you're using like 50x leverage and then you're 100% in, then that's going to be a mistake. Like
That's
that's
risky.
something you want to stay away from.
So like right now, I'm just using it on KuCoin until we switch over to Phemex, which, by the way, this video has our ref link in it.
Yeah.
For Phemex, which that's where we're going to be doing our trading for the competition. We're also going to be working with them to get a trading competition set up for us, for our community, so we can have, you know, a contest with everybody. But if you want to play along at home with us, man, absolutely go for it, because I think it's, you know, the more people doing it, the more fun we'll have. So link is in the description of this video if that's something you're into.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm currently leverage trading on KuCoin.
You are.
Yeah.
How much leverage can you use in there?
5x.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm not KYC. Now, if you KYC and verify your account, you can go up to, I think, 100 or maybe even a little bit higher than 100.
Really? Okay.
But I'm fine with 5x. I mean, it seems to be working out. Like, I think I got into like 4 or 5 trades today, made like $200 or $300 each time.
That's really good.
So it was a good morning. Bitcoin was really kind of going flat though for me, and so that's, you know, one thing I think would be a great first discussion in this is, you know, your strategy of, all right, so you want to get into a position.
Yeah.
What's your first move? Are you just gonna cowboy into something, or are you waiting for your right entry?
I mean, I'm always looking at support and resistance on the charts. I mean, that's kind of how I just trade. And trends. I don't make it too complicated. I don't use a lot of indicators because I'm in a lot of positions and I'm just wanting to close those out and profit.
Yeah.
Now, I have a different strategy than you. I usually build into a position. So when I plan on entering something, I have like at least 3 entry points where I'm getting in. So I'll get like 30% at a time, or sometimes 25%. And then I have a good average price. And then I also do the same thing when I exit a position. I take profit at several different levels. So for me, it works, and I can go on a longer time frame that way. I don't have to just be sitting there watching it.
Yeah.
So I kind of like to do more of a swing trade than like a scalp. So like if it goes down a little bit more, I'm like, all right, I'll add a little bit. And now if it gets to like where it's at support and it's going to break, like I'll put my last buy right by a heavy support, and if it breaks that support, then I just have a stop loss there, and it's not a big deal, even though now I have a big position,
right?
And I can just get out. Otherwise, though, now my position is of the 3 buys is somewhere in the middle, and so now when it goes back up to where it was, I'm in the profit and I'm making good money. Okay. So it's and I'll show it too. I'll show it when we start trading. I'll kind of show my little bit of strategy that I use, and for me, it's less stressful to be able to not have to be in a full position, looking at my phone every second, like worrying if it just crashed or flash crashed or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
because that's the way that I do it is, you know, I'll be one thing I learned very early on is you wait for your position. Don't chase a pump. If there's a bunch of green candles in a row, hey man, it's always going to go back down. Just wait. You don't want to get impatient and just get right into one. So like what I'll do is I'll wait and look for a decent red candle, and say, okay, it's looking primed. And so say, let's just use, you know, easy numbers as kind of the explanation here. So say it's at 45,000, like 45,000, and I'm getting ready to get in. I'll probably put it at like 44,875. Because what I want is like, okay, we've had a good candle. It's always going to wick down just a little bit more. So what I'm trying to do is just catch that wick and then have it rubber band right up. So then I feel like I'm in a safe zone, because if you just get into a position and all of a sudden it goes down, now you're underwater right away. And I don't feel comfortable with that, because that's how I've been liquidated in the past, where, you know, you get into a position and then now you're either watching your phone the entire night, or you're just praying that you don't get liquidated, because I don't want to set a stop loss for, you know, 5% down. I don't want to lose money. Like I want to try to get in so that it's right after my position fills, I'm already in the profit. So then I can put in a stop loss that I will always, even if I get wicked out on my take profit or my stop loss, it's always in the green, never in the red.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. I mean, there's nothing like the best thing about this is you could put in orders way in advance. Like it doesn't have, so you could literally put them in right where the support line is, or even a little bit below it or whatever. And then you could even add a stop loss ahead of time too. So that in the day, if you're not watching it, it just hits your buy. And then if it keeps going down, you're like, well, I don't want to be in it if it breaks support, right? Who wants to be in a trade that's just going to continue to go down? So, but then you could check it back and you're like, oh wow, it's already back up now. It went down, hit the support, filled my order, and now I'm in the green. And then you can set your stop loss in the green, readjust it to make sure you're in the profit. So I mean, the best thing is putting in let's talk about limit orders and market orders. What do you use?
I use limit orders, man. Market orders, you'll get crushed on fees. Never.
Yeah.
I don't like to use market orders unless I have to, unless I know that I have definitely missed the bottom and every indicator and everyone says, oh, we're about to go, we're about to go. I'll do it against kind of what I like to do, or I'll figure out how to wait, because it's a good way to get into a position very quickly. You know, because like with KuCoin, like the way that it's set up is you get into you type in your limit order, and then you got to your passcode, and then you got to okay everything. So by that point, you know, it's already probably rocketed up a couple $100, and you've missed your entry.
Yeah.
So if you need to get in immediately, which again goes against what I said originally, where you try to time things out and don't chase a pump, all that. You can use a market order, but I don't like using them.
Well, there is a strategy that is like based on momentum plays and breakouts.
Mhm.
I think that's the only time you should ever use market orders.
Okay.
So like limit orders, you actually on Phemex get rebated. Like when you put in a limit order, you actually make money because you're adding liquidity to the order book.
Oh, really?
So you actually make like 0.025, I think. And then if you do a market order, you pay 0.075%, I think.
Okay.
So it's interesting. So you put in limit orders, you're actually making money because you're adding liquidity to the book. Now, market orders are good, though. If something is breaking out and you see it break a resistance and you know it's going to keep going, you could put in a big trade right then and there, and you're trying to scalp whatever it is on that breakout. Like, that's the only time. Or if you're, like, trying to get out of something after it breaks support and you don't have a stop loss in, you can market, you know, get out of the position.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. BJ, trying to tell us something. What do you...
I have this random graphic that's showing how my stock
Can you want to pull
Sure,
it up?
pull it up.
It's okay. Oh, there we go. So there's tons of information that, you know, if you want to learn about how to, because for a while I actually didn't even understand how to set a stop loss.
Yeah.
How would you even want to go about setting a take profit and stuff? So like, if you're still learning all that, I'll use the internet as your resource guide, because there is so much information out there.
Yeah.
Just to help you get through some of that stuff. Because if it's your first time leverage trading, you know that there's a lot of money to be made, but there's also the potential to lose a lot. So don't fool around and get yourself into a position where, and again, this is not financial advice at all, by the way.
Well, here's the best thing about that is,
Yes, it is.
On Phemex, you can actually log, when you create an account, you can also create like a paper account, and it trades as a real one.
Yeah.
So you can practice, and you could trade with fake money before you actually use your real money.
Which
Like,
is very smart.
very smart.
I hate doing it, though.
Yeah.
Because if you just start crushing it, it's all fake. It's not real money. And then you switch over to the real thing, and then something happens. There's, you know, like the bull, you know, the huge green candles happen during your paper trading. And then when you get into the live the real live thing, not the simulation, that's when the red candles happen and you get smoked out. And it's like,
But see, the problem though, you nailed it on the head. And the problem is that most people do not treat the fake account as if it was real money. So they're playing much higher risk. They're just like, ooh, what would happen if I did 100x leverage or 50x leverage or 30? And then they get in these trades and they're like making all this money, or they liquidate the account and they're like, it's fake money, so they don't even care. They don't get that hurt, that feeling. So they're not really learning. So if you do start a fake account, make sure you take it seriously and try to create a trading strategy that's based on if it was real. You got to like really tell yourself like, this is real money. This is real money.
I 100% agree with you. I'm going to pop into the comments here really quick. In the chat, Crypto Ric Flair says, I hate it too. My paper account is at 900K. I feel you. I feel you so much for that. I wish we could just transfer that to your real account. Paper accounts are trash. You're not really learning the emotional aspect of getting in and getting out. Michael St. Clair, that is so true. And that's kind of what Bryan just said is, you're practicing at that point. You know, candles, trading, everything is emotional. It's not supposed to be, but you know that it is. I think that's the whole sentiment behind the whole thing.
Yeah. So I guess a good thing for like people that can't take the fake account seriously, which I would say is probably like 90% plus, start with a very small amount of money then, right? Why not? Like maybe start with $1,000 like I did in the last challenge, and create a trading strategy that uses real money. and make sure you're just making percentage gains. Like if you make $100 on a $1,000 account, like that's a 10% gain.
I love that you just said that, because that's where I kind of wanted to go with this as well, is that don't always focus on the dollar amount, focus on the percentage.
Yeah.
You know, because if you're just practicing out, yeah, throw a couple bucks in there.
Yeah.
And, you know, with 30-40% gain, while it's not a huge dollar amount, it shows you that what you're doing or your strategy might be very successful.
Right. Yeah, and it also gives you that kind of emotional tie to winning and losing real money.
Because there are no participation trophies in leverage trading.
No. There's
Sorry.
just liquidation emails.
Oh, that is the worst. And they always come like a while after you get liquidated. So like maybe the emotions settle down. You're like, shit. Like, oh, I felt so bad about this. And then 2 hours later, your email comes and you're like, are you really serious?
The best part about that is like you just don't even want to open your account. You see the email and you're like, I'm not even opening my account. I'm not even going to look at it.
Have you ever gotten liquidated overnight?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the worst. Oh, yeah. No, it was the morning.
Yeah, that was actually in the middle of the day. I was trying to play one of those dips that you were talking about, where it hits a support and you get in and try to rubber band right back up, but it just kept tanking down. But it was okay. Thank God I had closed out the challenge the day before.
Yes, yeah, you did in fact win the challenge. So if you tuned in last week, you found out Bryan won the 100 to 10K challenge. I had a very, very busy week this week. I missed Monday and Tuesday. I was on a little trip with my wife, and then I need to get my tattoo.
Oh yeah,
so
I kind of forgot about that.
I didn't forget about it. I was trying. Actually, this is the strangest place. Like in Austin, where I moved from, tattoo shops are open like super late every day. Yada yada yada. I was actually looking to get it last night.
Really?
And I was going to show up this morning with it.
No, we have to film this.
Good point. All right.
We have to bring someone there, and
so we'll have to get either Aaron or Frank to go, or you can come with and whatever. And
yeah, I'd be curious. I've actually never been in a tattoo shop.
it's fun.
Yeah.
We can, the Tweety Bird tattoo.
Whose tattoo is that?
Is that BJ's tattoo?
Oh,
No, I'm getting the New Money Gang logo, not Tweety Bird. Golly.
I mean, you would look good with a Tweety Bird
Stop
tattoo.
it. No, I wouldn't. Don't even go there.
Or a Nickelback tattoo. Yeah, if you guys don't watch Hit Network, go over and watch yesterday's Daily Hit. Justin has a nice cameo on there.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Aaron, you're dead to me, buddy. You put my face, the Nickelback, look at this photograph.
Yeah.
Yeah, he put me in there. Gosh, that was so dumb.
That was pretty funny. Yeah, we have good editors over at Hit Network. They help us out a lot. Well, yeah.
I don't consider that help.
Yeah.
Anyway,
more
yes.
like torture.
Torture. Anyway, all right. So let's think. So we're talking strategy. We're talking entries, exits. Like what's your? You said you layer your ins and outs. What's your strategy for getting out of a trade? Are you looking? You're looking at sentiment? Are you looking kind of where the market's going?
I'm more looking at like, ready for the big words here, like standard deviations on like whatever I'm trading. So like if Bitcoin is ranging between like $0 and $500, if it's going to like 48.5 to 49 or 48.5 to 48, the standard deviation is $500, whether up or down. Is what it's most likely moving. So I try to trade those, and I don't really care if there's like a ton of volume, because it doesn't matter. I'm only trying to trade whatever I think where it's ranging at and make money on those, because it's much more predictable.
Yeah.
If you try, like I've never got good at trading momentum plays where like you start seeing a ton of volume come in and it's going to break out and you enter a really big position. Like I've never been really good at that. Because I don't know how to exit those properly. So, I mean, that's what a lot of people do, but I really don't like doing that. So,
I just usually want to be comfortable. Like I said this morning, the market wasn't moving as much as I wanted it to be. So, like, getting in and out for a couple of $100 here and there was the strategy for today. But typically, like, I want to at least see like $1,000 profit before I even want to start thinking about getting out of a trade. So like a couple weeks ago, like when we started doing this at the tail end of the last competition that we were doing, I would get into a leverage trade and I'd be up, I'd hit my threshold of $1,000, So then I would put in my stop loss so that I could secure at least that,
Okay.
and then I would put in a take profit, to make $4,000 or $5,000. So
What
like,
kind of percentage was that on your account?
I think it was like a it was less than 10%.
Okay. So
Uh,
it's like it was like a $12,000 to $13,000 account, and
So-
you're trying to make 1,000.
yeah,
Okay.
something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely something like that. And I think like right now, I think my count is at like 16,000 for leverage trading. So like what I'll end up doing is just transferring 10 over for the next one. And then
Okay.
I'll just keep like 6 in the KuCoin one, and then the Phemex will start with 10 and see where that goes. But yeah, so like if I'm in a position at night, now I will never, because in the last run and a bunch of months ago, whatever, when we were doing all this before the drop from 60 down to 30, I would go to bed in a position and like I could never sleep, and I'll be just there laying looking at my phone the entire night, up till 3, 4 in the morning, just trying to figure out what to do here. But now, like, once you get into that position where you're like, I'm comfortable, I've got $1,000 at least profit, I'm gonna set my stop loss, I can go to bed
Yeah.
very happy knowing I'm either gonna make $1,000 or a lot more.
Yeah.
And so you sleep a lot better. So like now that's the position that I get myself into. I'm not going to go to bed with an open order, because that's how I've gotten liquidated a couple times.
One of the things that biggest learning curves for me was learning like it's okay to lose.
Yeah.
In trade. Because and to get out before it goes really bad. Like if you get in a trade and it's not going the way you thought it to go, like don't readjust and be like, oh well, maybe this is the new support, or like stick with your original plan of what you thought was going to happen.
No.
And if it goes down a little bit, take your loss, come back and fight another day when, because most of the time you're going to make good calls, when
Trust
you
your
get
gut.
in. Yeah. But so like, don't be afraid to take a small loss to prevent you from having a massive loss, because my biggest problem is I hate losing. I hate it.
Hate it.
So even if it's like $5, I don't want to close a losing trade. And so I have to like emotionally get past that and be like, it's okay to close this out as a loss, and then move on and then enter a new trade that I like much better later on. And that for me is really hard, because it's like I always want to be winning.
Right. Well, I think what the problem is, and we've seen this and we know this, some of your favorite YouTube traders, all they ever show you are their wins. So you think the perception is, if I don't win every trade, something's wrong. I suck.
Yeah.
That's not the case. A lot of big traders that make a lot of money also lose a lot of money. They just don't show the losses to you.
Right. I mean, you're a successful trader if you are winning 60% of your trades.
That's like a VC fund. These companies that invest in other people, they don't win every single time.
Yeah, you'll lose 40% of the time.
They count on those unicorns to make up for every loss.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing with trading. Like you're relying on those 1 to 2 big wins, maybe a month or a week, whatever, that covers everything that you're doing.
Right.
So don't be afraid to lose. But if you do lose tiny.
Yeah, I was talking to Frank, one of our videographers, the other day, and he says like he'll enter 10 trades, but he puts really tight stop losses. This is his strategy. And he'll lose 8 or 9 of the 10 trades because he'll just wick them out. But the one trade he makes 10% on, or he goes for 1% on Bitcoin, a movement, and then he so then he makes 10% on that trade, and the other ones he doesn't even lose hardly anything. So the one win covers 9 losses. So I mean, you just have to create a strategy for yourself that works.
I hope that that's like one of the main things that people are hearing in this conversation, is that like you've got your strategy, I've got my strategy, Frank has his strategy, BJ has got his strategy. Everyone that trades has their own strategy. You got to find out what works for you, because everybody's got different comfortability levels. Everyone's got different whatever.
Yeah, risk management for every person is different.
I couldn't figure out the word.
So yeah, risk tolerance. So you got to know what is going to like make you emotionally trade good or bad, because if you're losing a lot of money in a trade, it could cause you to make an irrational emotional decision, whereas if you would have just stuck with it, then you would be in the green. Or if you're winning, like another problem that I've had is you take profits too soon. Like,
oh,
make sure that you let your winners run
that.
and you get rid of your losers.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that because I think this is very important. I am a victim of this more times than not. No. So I did. Ben Bitboy, he saved me. He saved me in my crypto journey because I originally got married to a crypto. I was just emotionally attached to it. It was, yeah, pump them and dump them. That's my new strategy. Anyway, before I was so nicely interrupted by BJ, I forgot where I was going with that.
He saved you. Bitboy saved you.
Yeah,
Ben?
he had saved me because I had gotten totally married to one of the first projects that I invested in. I was working for an exchange. I had gotten this project listed on the exchange. Now this is back in 2017, and so I felt like, oh, this is, and I was getting paid in crypto from the exchange. I was transferring everything that I was making to this one token, and it just never did anything for me. And I was just waiting, and we just kept having these conversations. He's like, dude, stop being emotionally attached to this. Just cut it loose. And so I cut it loose.
Yeah.
Finally. It took a while, but I did. But there was something more important that we were talking about.
We were talking about taking profits too early.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I do this all the time.
Okay.
And so, we all have PTSD from crypto. If you lived through 2017 and 2018, if you lived through the 60 to 30 drop a few months ago, you have PTSD from crypto. And so you never know when something unexpected is going to happen.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, selling too early is a strategy. They say sometimes it's better to catch it before the top than try to catch it on the way down, or try to let it go on the way down.
Right.
I do that quite often where I will sell early just to lock in a profit. But I'm always, and this is, I don't know why I do this, but once I'm in a trade, I will just like start fooling around like, oh, if it gets to 75,000, how much profit? And I'm like, oh, I want that so bad. But deep inside, I say to myself, you're never going to let it run that high.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
So how do you convince yourself to say, all right, I'm in the profit, locked it in? Do you just keep setting your stop loss up, like as it rips up?
If you're in a long-term swing trade, maybe. Yeah. I don't usually recommend that, and especially if you're leverage trading. So, and here's why. Big thing that people have to learn when they're leverage trading is there's a funding fee.
Ooh, that's right. Yeah.
So every 8 hours, so 3 times a day, you're getting charged fees for for having exposure and having a position open in a leverage trade. So you're paying money to hold this position, and you could be losing money if it's not going the direction that you want it to go. So leverage trading is really meant for much shorter time frames. I mean, I would not recommend holding anything over like 3 days.
Yeah.
I mean, that should be long enough time to get to where you want to go or not want to go, and you just close it out and you re-enter something else.
I could probably say that I have never been in a leverage trade for longer than, say, for example, I had gotten into a position before I went to bed. It filled overnight, and then I'm in it the next morning. Probably, several hours later, I'm out of it. I have probably never been in a trade longer than 24 hours.
Really?
Probably not even longer than 12 hours.
Okay, that's really good. I think I've been in some for like 6 days before.
That's long.
Yeah, it was
A lot
very
can
long.
happen, but if it's just running and running and running, why not keep it open?
Yeah, and I did, but I did learn in that too. I had like an Ethereum leverage trade open. It was like 50,000 contracts. And it was charged and it was because everyone was bullish on it. Like, you pay a higher fee. It really depends on, the funding fee is kind of hard to understand, so I'm not going to go into that right now. It's hard to explain too, so that's also part of why I'm not going to go into it now.
Next week, we'll have it ready to go next week.
But yeah, okay. So I'm in a trade for like 50,000, and it was charging me like $50 every 8 hours.
Oh, really?
So it was like $150 a day. I was losing in fees.
That's crazy.
So if you ever traded stocks or traditional markets like options and stuff like that, you'll be familiar where options actually lose value every single day, or like futures. So it's kind of it's not much different than that, where like the value of your thing is going down, but over time. So that's why I said leverage trading is for quick moves.
Yep.
That's it. 1 to 4 standard deviations is what you're really looking for, and that's it.
Take
You
advantage.
should be able to make money. Crypto is already volatile, right? It's already way more volatile than stocks or anything. So don't get too greedy here. Like I did well on my other account only because I was happy making small moves. When I got greedy the one day when it dipped is when I got wrecked because I was not in the challenge anymore and I wasn't making smart decisions. Listen, I only try to make 2 or 3% on a trade now on the account. That's it. Now if I could make 3 of those in a day and then make 10%, that's great. But I'm only trying to make 2 or 3% on the account, and I'm happy with that. And now, if you need to make more money per trade, just put more money in your account, and then the percentage you have to make to be happy with the dollar amount is a lot less. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. Because I mean, 2% on a $10,000 trade is a lot different than on a $70,000 trade.
Right.
So that, I mean, it's all just based on that sliding scale of how many contracts you have, and obviously the percentage is solely reliant on that.
Right.
All right. So when we get into this trading competition and we start doing some trading with some of the community, I just looked and I forgot we put these up here. When I moved here, I found 5 Ledger Nano S's.
Nice. Did you hack them all already?
They're all hacked. I've got the seed phrases memorized in here. Just kidding. They're all unopened. But I think we should do some giveaways. So be on the lookout. We'll do some giveaways soon because everybody needs a hardware wallet.
Yeah. Those are good. I think I have a couple too. I even have like the Ballet wallet. It's pretty cool.
That to me now I know Bobby Lee's got a little he gets crapped on a little bit for the Ballet wallet, and I know Ken Bozak was obviously it kind of exploited that the way that they do their seed phrase or the private keys and the device itself, the little card was maybe a little suspect, but
they do it in 2 different locations.
2 different locations. And so that's why, even though they set it up for you, it is done in 2 different locations. There is no central authority that has access to both. And so I personally also use a Ballet wallet for cold storage. Love it.
At some point, there has to be some kind of trust. Like I mean, even these ledgers, like the company could have backdoors to them. Like what? Who are we to trust them?
You saw that they leaked the sensitive data for everybody that had bought one ever, right?
Yeah, crazy. So I mean, like at some point or another, you just have to, like obviously you're not putting.
Oh.
Yeah, for sure, Ken Baron. We'll do a giveaway. Yep. I'm
Oh,
scared
that's
to
right.
move off exchange just in case I ever need the money ASAP. Crypto.
I feel you with that because you never know. Now, but I would warn you because like what just happened the other day when what did happen and like KuCoin was shut down. It was because it was the volatility of the market. Was that what it was?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, you want to be able to move it right away. But if something like that happens again, I was completely locked out of everything that I had on KuCoin, which made me sick to my stomach for a couple hours.
Yeah.
So I also agree with having your money accessible right there to be able to get it into anything. I guess maybe MetaMask is probably better. I know you can't hold Bitcoin on it, but you can swap anything right away.
I mean, it's all a percentage thing, right? Like you should have some of your crypto that you have stored away and some of it not. And now if you don't have a lot of crypto, my threshold is like 10 to 100,000. Like I'm okay having 100K on an exchange. Because if I lost that, I wouldn't kill myself. Like I would be very upset, but I would not be like,
It's not
if I lost $1 million or $2 million because I did not have it on a hardware wallet and somehow got hacked, I mean, I still wouldn't kill myself because I would never do that.
I don't believe in that either.
I don't believe in it. But I would be very depressed probably for a very long time if I lost that much money.
Yes.
That, like who wouldn't?
Speaking of that much money, I see Koj says NMG face tat, diamond teardrop. So now, at some point, and I did get the okay from my wife, because we've always said that once you do like the face or the neck tat, that's it. You become unemployable, and that's a little bit old school thinking. I get it, but whatever. But I've got her blessing that once I have somewhere between $5 and $10 million in my bank account or my crypto account, whatever, that I have the authorization. I think it's closer to 10 to do to do a neck tat.
A neck tat? Okay, I thought you were gonna say a face tat. I'm like,
No.
you really want a face tat?
No, I wouldn't do a face tat ever, but I would
Ever?
never. Never. I'll never tattoo my face, but I will tattoo my neck.
What about your head?
Nah.
Like
that-
up the back of your neck into your head.
No. Just right. Yeah. Did you say that in the microphone?
No.
Good. Don't. No.
BJ, if you talk, you have to talk in the microphone because otherwise there's just an awkward silence and me and Justin are listening to you.
It's so awkward.
But yeah, anything else we want to cover on the leverage trading for today?
All right. So risk management, risk tolerance, entry points, exit points, strategies.
Start with a small account. Let's just say that. Start with a small amount of money,
Yeah.
create a trading system, and then scale it up. Add more money as you become more comfortable.
Yeah.
And be okay with small gains.
Yeah, learn what you're doing. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't suggest you go out and we love Crypto Face. I don't suggest you go out right away and buy Market Cipher. I mean, you're not going to even understand how to read it at first. So watch a lot of videos on leverage trading. Maybe we'll start putting some more tutorial or how to stuff based on what we're doing. Because our goal is to start live streaming at night, maybe through Twitch, like you were doing in the competition.
Or even on YouTube. We'll do it. We'll probably do it on YouTube and Twitch.
Okay.
I think we're live on Twitch now too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Because that's something I can do when I am at home for my paternity leave, is I can wreck you in leverage trading.
Yeah, you probably will.
Because I'll be up all night.
You'll be
With that-
focused on it.
I'll have my crying baby in one arm, hotkeys in the other.
Your 4 screens.
Yes. Lullabies and eat. Oh, I will definitely chill some lo-fi beats with my low-buys.
Got
Low-buys, high sells, lo-fis, and crying
High
babies.
sells, low buys. What? Let's do it.
I think that's it, man.
Let's call it. Thank you guys so much for joining us today on the Friday New Money Gang live stream. 10K to 100K. We're racing there as fast as we can.
Yeah.
And we are starting probably next week,
Let's say October 1st.
October
Start with a
1st. All right, October
fresh month,
1st.
new month. Who dis?
Start transferring your funds. Sign up on Phemex below and get ready for the challenge if you want to join us along. And send us an update video, and we'll put your pretty little face on the stream.
Yeah. All right, that's it. So we got. See you next week.